So, what if I told you there's a single plant that could build our homes, power our cars, and literally clean our atmosphere, all at the same time? A material we've actually used for thousands of years, but then kind of forgot about for the last century. Okay, let's get into it. We're talking about industrial hemp. And look, let's be super clear from the get-go. This is a variety of cannabis sativa, but it is not the stuff people smoke. Industrial hemp has next to no THC. Instead of being a drug, it's pretty much a one-stop shop for a sustainable future. You can turn it into anything from bioplastics and building materials to supercapacitors and even food. For most of human history, it was our silent partner in progress. And right there, that's the heart of the story, isn't it? This incredibly useful plant became deeply, deeply misunderstood. For the last 80 years or so, it's been tangled up in a global prohibition that basically shut down all scientific and industrial research. So what on earth happened? To really get where we're going, we first have to understand what we lost, and why this absolute wonder plant was all but erased from our modern world. That's really the big question for this entire explainer. And believe me, the answers could completely redefine how we build, how we manufacture, and how we power our civilization. Let's start with one of the biggest challenges we're facing right now. Our buildings, our homes, our cities, they're a massive source of carbon emissions. And that's mostly because of one single material, cement. But what if our houses could do the exact opposite? What if they could actually pull carbon right out of the air? Just look at the difference here. On the right, you've got your standard Portland cement. It's responsible for something like 8% of all global CO2 emissions. And on the left, you have hempcrete. It is 6 times lighter. And get this, it has a negative carbon footprint. Yeah, you heard that right, negative. So how is that even possible? Well, it all comes down to a really cool chemical process called carbonization. The lime binder that holds the hempcrete together literally breathes in CO2 from the atmosphere over its entire life, slowly turning itself back into solid stone. The key thing to understand is a hempcrete wall doesn't just store carbon, it actively mineralizes it, getting stronger and stronger for hundreds of years. And here's the bottom line. For every single cubic meter of hempcrete, a net 165 kilograms of CO2 are permanently taken out of the atmosphere. Your house literally becomes a carbon sink. It's cleaning the air around you just by existing. And that's not even counting the growing process. A single hectare of industrial hemp can suck up between 8 and 15 tons of CO2 from the atmosphere in just one growing season. That's more than most forests. But building our homes is really just the beginning. So we've moved from building our homes to building our technology. Because hemp isn't just some rustic, old-school building material. It's the foundation for a whole high-tech materials revolution. I mean, check this out. Hemp fibers can be engineered into advanced composites that are stronger and lighter than steel. They can be used to create sports equipment that absorbs vibrations better than carbon fiber, and they can form the basis of fully compostable bioplastics, which could be a real game changer for our plastic pollution crisis. This quote just nails it. It captures the shift in thinking we really need. We have to stop seeing hemp as just another crop and start seeing it for what it is, a platform for a new generation of sustainable technology. And listen, this isn't just theoretical stuff. It's already happening. In the car industry, you've got companies like BMW and Porsche using hemp composites to make their cars lighter. In construction, we've already seen the power of carbon-negative hempcrete. And in plastics, well, hemp bioplastics could become an €800 billion market that helps us finally break our dependence on fossil fuels. Okay, so hemp can help solve our shelter crisis and our materials crisis. But what about the biggest one of all, energy? It sounds impossible, but this one plant might just hold a key to the future of energy storage, too. Just take a second to really absorb this vision. An electric car with a body made of hemp composites, powered by a battery that's also made from hemp, that charges in minutes. And the best part, all of its core components were grown in a field, which actually made the soil healthier for the next crop. Now, this whole vision is made possible by a material called hemp graphene. Back in 2014, scientists figured out you can basically cook hemp fibers into these incredible carbon nanosheets that are even better at storing energy than graphene. This tech could lead to supercapacitors and batteries that are cheap, totally sustainable, and ridiculously powerful. So we have a plant that can build carbon-negative cities, create space-age materials, and power our future. It sounds way too good to be true, right? And that begs the obvious question. What's stopping us? Why isn't this happening everywhere, right now? Well, the simple and honestly frustrating truth is that the main obstacle is just red tape. Decades of misunderstanding and prohibition have created this tangled web of regulations that make it incredibly difficult for farmers and industries to actually unlock hemp's full potential. The source material we're analyzing here proposes a pretty direct two-step path forward. First, what it calls a Hemp Liberation Act. This would raise the really arbitrary THC limit for industrial hemp, letting farmers grow more robust and useful varieties without risk. Second, a Cost of Truth Act. This would put a price on carbon and then return all that revenue directly to citizens, making sustainable choices like hemp the most logical economic option. So if we can clear these bureaucratic hurdles, we could literally step into a new era. The source material calls it the Emerald Age, a future that's built not on extraction and digging things out of the ground, but on cultivation. And this isn't just some vague dream, it's a potential roadmap. In the next decade, hemp could realistically replace a huge chunk of our plastics. Looking even further ahead, its unique properties might even find a role in quantum computing. And by the middle of the century, we could be using this amazing plant to regenerate damaged ecosystems and reclaim deserts on a massive scale. So, what does the future look like? What does it feel like? Well, according to this material, it might just be green, grown directly from the soil. And as this quote puts it, it might just smell like hemp. It's a future that maybe we don't need to build from scratch, but one we simply need to let grow.